Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here on ZSN, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Lakers versus the Suns in preseason, the second game of preseason. And guys, I just have to say, uh, you know, what a good game for the Lakers in the first half. Okay, all of our starters played in tonight's game, and you know what? I just had to say, it was just a breath of fresh air to see this team finally like winning some quarters and just vibing and starting to win basketball games in one at one point. But then the second half came around, and even though the third quarter was all right, but the fourth quarter just was very sloppy at the end of the day. So I want to get into all your thoughts and opinions about tonight's loss against the Phoenix Suns. For the preseason. So the good thing is it is a preseason, so we should not really overreact to this particular loss to the Phoenix Suns tonight, and just take some positivity from this Lakers lost tonight when it came to our starters playing tonight. And in the first half, third quarter was all right, but then when it came to the fourth, it just completely fell apart. So, really want to get into your thoughts and your opinions. And for those of you who are joining me, you might be confused by the Broncos hat. I'm just celebrating that the Broncos won today against the Las Vegas, or is it Las Vegas or LA? I'm not sure what they're called now, but the Broncos, I root for the Broncos. All right. I mean, I'm a diehard Broncos fan, and I'm just glad that they got a win against the Raiders, our rival. So it was just a good day for football reasons for Broncos fans. So I just have to root for the orange and blue and represent my Denver Broncos in this live stream. So, it was such a great win. Patrick Surtain with 2 interceptions in the game against the Raiders. So I just felt that I needed to show some love for my Denver Broncos. So, I just had to put that out there. So, but today's video, obviously, this live stream is about the Los Angeles Lakers. So, without further ado, let's just get right into the Lakers' loss tonight against the Phoenix Suns in preseason. So, when it came down to it, guys, I mean, this was a very interesting turn of events. When it came to the expectations, what we could see from this Lakers team going into the regular season, especially due to the last game that we saw against the Timberwolves. It was something that we did not kind of expect, because obviously Anthony Davis and LeBron were not playing in that game. So if they were playing, I think we would have potentially won the game if possible. But it is what it is. So obviously this is preseason, so preseason is not really that important for us to really dissect and just really get into. But it was an interesting matchup for sure, and just how things turned out in the first half. I mean, the dominance that we saw from Anthony Davis, from LeBron James, and just the starting lineup in general. I mean, this is the expectation that we could see from the starting lineup going into the regular season. I'm just hyped up. I'm hyped up about it. So I really can't wait to get into the stats. And before I get into it, I have to share the stat line so you guys can see it. So just give me a moment. I should have prepared it before I went into it, but it's all good. So just give me a moment. Here we go. All right. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see it. It's from my end. Hopefully it works. So yeah, there we go. So if you guys can see the stat line, I mean, it did not look pretty when it comes to the shooting wise. I mean, the Lakers shot around, I believe, 36%, or no, 27% from the three, or I might be mistaken. Yeah, 27% from the three, and then 46% from the field. They shot 75% of their free throws, not compared to last game against the Timberwolves, where the Lakers had a better showing at when they shot their free throws, especially from Austin Reeves, who went 10 of 10 from the free throw line against the Timberwolves. But when it came down to this one, I mean, this could have been an easy winnable game, but the fourth quarter really just fell apart for the Los Angeles Lakers in that particular moment. So it's unfortunate, but once again, this is the preseason. Some errors have to be made so they can correct them once the regular season begins. So hopefully that is uh, a priority for the to make some tweaks in the offense for JJ Redick for sure. So, but obviously it made a whole difference when it came to the starting lineups playing in this game. So that's kind of the expectation that we could see from them in the regular season, but better for sure because obviously records and stats and everything are on the line when it comes down to that. So obviously, when you saw tonight, guys, I mean, Anthony Davis, he dominated throughout the first half with 17 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, one steal, shot 1 3. So the expectations when we heard from media day from Anthony Davis was that he's going to improve on his shooting, and and JJ Redick wants him to shoot from the three. So that's something that we could see from Anthony Davis back in 2019 when in his first year with the Lakers. He shot around 33% from the three. So we could potentially see him do that as a big. That could potentially be helpful for the Lakers when it comes to improving on his, shooting from the three as a big. So hopefully that comes in handy for the Lakers going into the regular season. So I have to say, just not bad performance from Anthony Davis when it came down to it, especially just from the first half. I mean, he only played in the first half, but just that alone, just imagine what he can do throughout the game. Just helping us win games and his effort. I mean, he was a plus 15 in the game tonight. So really a good effort from Anthony Davis out there tonight. Rui Hachimura had some really key moments as well. I mean, 13 points, 8 rebounds, and shot 1 3. I mean, just imagine the expectations that we could see from this Lakers team, this starting lineup going into the regular season. I mean, we could win games with this type of starting lineup. Now, obviously, the improvement has to be made from our rotations, and some players in the rotation needs to, step up when it comes down to that. So, hopefully, it does happen and improve on their skill set and makes some corrections in their mistakes, especially some of them in the fourth quarter. But obviously, this is a preseason, so our starters did not play in the second half. So that's just the only flaw or positivity that I can say about this loss. That if our players in the starting lineup played in the second half, I think things would have been much differently for us to get this win tonight against the Phoenix Suns, who are going to be a top team in the Western Conference for sure when it comes down to it. But hopefully, it's going to be competitive for sure in the Western Conference without a doubt. So, but just a solid night, a great night for Rui Hachimura out there tonight. LeBron James making a historic moment with his son. The father and son doing on the same court. Even though it was preseason, it was just nice to see that happening. In basketball, and I have to say it's a historic moment for LeBron and just the rest of the team when it came down to it, and sports in general in the basketball world. So really love to see that for sure. But LeBron James showed up. Had a game out there tonight. Had 19 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Had 2 blocks out there tonight for the starting lineup, and shot 2 of 3 from the three. And still at age 39, going to be 40 in December, he managed to give us a really good performance out there tonight. So, just had to, put that out there when it comes to his greatness out there tonight. So, uh, just a great job out there for LeBron James. Solid performance in the first half, along with Anthony Davis and Rui Hachimura. So, 19 points out there tonight for LeBron James. And then D'Angelo Russell, we saw some glimpse in the first quarter that he can really let it up and show his all-star caliber self in the regular season. Now, postseason is a whole different thing, but this is something we could see from D'Angelo Russell. I mean, he had a solid night, 14 points, had 2 rebounds, 4 assists, had 1 steal, shot 2 of 3 from the threes. So even though the Lakers in general as a whole shot badly in this game, I mean, just looking at Austin Reeves, 0 of 7 from the three alone tells you that the Lakers need to improve on their accuracy from shooting the three, in training camp and throughout the preseason, so they could be better in the regular season. So, that right there shows you that D'Angelo Russell uh, had a solid night when it came down to it. So a good performance out there for D'Angelo Russell in the preseason. And that could be an expectations for him going into the regular season. I mean, just imagine just we don't really give D'Angelo Russell enough credit in the regular season. Postseason, he's garbage. I get it, he is. But when it comes to the regular season, he's an all-star caliber guy. When it comes down to it, he's on a whole different level. Can give you 18, 20 points per game, shoot around 42% from the three. I mean, the guy is just sensational for us in as an offensive guy, shooting wise, scorer that he is. But when it comes to postseason, and he's nowhere to be found. But just imagine the type of glimpse that we could see from him in the regular season again. So hopefully he shows up in the regular season and puts up all-star caliber numbers in the regular season for sure. Really looking forward to that once the regular season begins. So a solid night for D'Angelo Russell. Uh, Austin Reeves, though, had 9 points, had 7 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, not bad. But at the same time, his shooting is really what's glaring at me when it comes to his performance out there. I mean, he went 5 of 5 though from the free throw line. I mean, that's returning. I mean, a couple of years ago when we were just seeing the rise of Austin Reeves. He was best known for shooting his free throws at 100%. I mean, 90% half the time. So just imagine the return of that. It will be very helpful for the Lakers to win games if we just make our free throws go in. I mean, the Lakers made 75 of their free throws overall, but when it comes down to it, I mean, if you can make 90% of them, you can win games that way when it comes down to it. So that's something that we can really rely upon for Austin Reeves for sure. But his shooting needs to also be a key to the Lakers' success as well. And especially for JJ Redick, the way that he's raving Austin Reeves when it comes to him shooting and scoring and all that, just being the rough rider, that dog in him that could really help the Lakers out when it comes to winning games. So with that, hopefully, Austin Reeves, sure, it's just preseason, but I think he will lit it up in the regular season, and that all of them really will do so. And guys, this is the preseason. You don't have to work your star players to the bone in the preseason, even though you already know the expectations out of them going into the regular season. So this is the type of expectation that we will see from them. Even though Austin Reeves had a bad night, I think he will show a lot of improvement and more of expectations in the regular season. So 9 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. The field goal percentages when 2 of 10, that's pretty bad, but at the same time, it is preseason. So we should not really overreact by our star players when it comes to their performance out there tonight. So let's talk about the second unit. Not the second unit was what really fell apart when it came to the lead that the Lakers had in the going into the second half. In the third quarter, though, they kind of managed it a bit, but obviously we see the more scoring efforts from the Phoenix Suns in the fourth quarter. They shot 33 points in the fourth quarter to the Lakers 22, so that really gotten away from them. And it's kind of like a similarity of how we saw the Lakers in the regular season last year. They played better in the first half, but when it comes to the second half, they completely fall apart. And that's something that is going to be a regular thing that we could see from this Lakers team going into the regular season. And even though and it's still like the same old roster. So with that, it is going to be a similar situation. That's why I really hope that once we reach December 15th or maybe at the trade deadline, that we improve on the Lakers, either just finding the right pieces, better rotations, finding another center. I mean, it could be a possibility that we could see more of an improvement by the Los Angeles Lakers, rotational wise, via trade. So that's still a possibility that it can make some sort of move to improve the team once all players are available for trades. And obviously, the need is the center position. Even the game against the Timberwolves, it was much needed to improve on when it comes to finding another big to help out Anthony Davis. And when we see Anthony Davis is on the floor, the defense is improved, and obviously he's our defense. He's our defense when it comes down to it. So and that's what happened last season. I mean, not a lot of defensive effort from our players when Anthony Davis is either sitting out or dealing with injury. He is our defense when it comes down to that. So we just need to find some other help on the defensive side, big wise, to help out Anthony Davis. And we saw it at one point that JJ Redick put Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis at the same time on the court in the first quarter, and we saw like some really good improvements on the defensive side. So uh, it just tells you that defense is really important for the Lakers to improve on. Uh, you know, once we reach like in December or at the trade deadline in February. So we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see what Rob Pelinka will do to improve the team that way because it needs improvement to add on another big because Jackson Hayes is just not cutting it. And even Colin Castleton, who did not have the best game out there tonight. I mean, had only had one rebound and one block. This is the time for him to show what he's made of in preseason, so he can get a potential role with the 15th roster spot. I mean, that's the idea, really. So hopefully he shows up more in this preseason game and show what he's made of because it's not really looking well for him for the past two games so far, in my opinion. So, but overall, really, we saw some struggles when it comes to shooting the three. I mean, Max Christie shot 2 of 8 from the three. I mean, he managed to give us 12 points though, but still, he still needs a lot of improvement, making some key mistakes. I mean, just looking at the field goals alone, went 3 of 14 from the field. I mean, that's totally unacceptable for a guy who could potentially be a sixth man or seventh man coming off the bench for us when it comes down to it. So hopefully he just improves on that and find some sort of way to manage his speed and just because there's some moments where he really thrown the ball a lot in this in the second half. I mean, looking at it, he had 3 turnovers there. So hopefully he just improves on that going into the regular season once we approach the regular season. So because he's going to be a big help for us for sure coming off the bench. I mean, I loved his game against the Timberwolves, but this game tonight, I mean, there were some sloppy mistakes on his part in the second half in the fourth quarter that he needs to improve upon in training camp or just in general in the preseason, hopefully. So, but then when you look at the rest of the players, I mean, Dalton Connect had 7 points out there tonight. I had 1 rebound, went 1 of 7 from the three. So, yeah, I mean, in general, this team shooting wise, they struggled for sure when it came down to it. So that needs to obviously be improved for sure in training camp in the regular season. But then you have Jackson, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who had 9 points. And I have to say, guys, I'm very impressed by Jalen Hood-Schifino. I mean, I think he can have a really big role on this team. Somehow Gabe Vincent is not cutting it for us to be a solid backup for D'Angelo Russell. I mean, don't be surprised if Jalen Hood-Schifino, wins the battle for backup role in the rotation. And even JJ Redick even mentioned in the first day of training camp that he's looking at potential players for the rotation to start. Or I mean to help out be part of the rotation for our starters, excuse me. So, and Jalen Hood-Schifino was mentioned in the conversation, and Dalton Connect, and Gabe Vincent and Max Christie. I mean, all those guys were mentioned. When it came to, and even Jackson Hayes. So, and you can make the argument for Cam Reddish too, but Vando, even though he's still out due to injury, he will obviously have a role in the rotation automatically because of his skill set or what he brings to the table. But it's out of those four when it comes down to it. So if somehow Jalen Hood-Schifino keeps continuing to show some effort and some abilities and speed and just the capabilities of being a solid backup for D'Angelo Russell at the point guard position, don't be surprised if he takes the role of Gabe Vincent. If he's still not showing that he could uh, play for 12, 15 minutes coming off the bench and putting up like 9, 10, 12 points per game going into the regular season. I mean, the only knock on Jalen Trino is that he's not really a good defensive guy. I mean, in my opinion, but that's what's a, a point really for Gabe Vincent is that he's a good defender, and my hope is that he continues to show some improvement in preseason, and show that he could be a big help for the Lakers in the second unit. So, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jalen Hood-Schifino. Hopefully he keeps it up because there's a lot of doubt on him, and including myself. I mean, I was showing a lot of doubt in Jalen Hood-Schifino at one point, but hopefully, he ignores all the critics and show what he's made of in preseason and hopefully going into the regular season. So, um, really can't wait for that for sure because he's showing a lot of improvements so far in the second year as a Laker. So, or in the NBA really. So, but other than that, guys, I mean, lots of improvements needs to be made by this Lakers team without a doubt. I mean, I have to say, I mean, it was it was pretty bad. I mean, to see our players not making their shots go in, and it just did not look well, did not look good whatsoever by this Lakers team when it came down to it. And I just seen the comment coming in from Daniel. Welcome to the live stream. Really appreciate you joining. And yo to you too, Daniel. It was a bad game for sure. But once again, guys, I'm going to continue saying this: is the preseason. Preseason is where players need to improve on their skill set and learning how to play with one another. And that's the type of thing that we obviously, are hoping to see from this Lakers team. I mean, more improvement so they'd be ready to go for the regular season. Regular season is where all matters most. Even though next couple of games into the regular season, you still need to improve. But once you reach December or January, that's where everything all matters most because that's where things are judge on you when it comes to the standings in the Western Conference because how loaded it is. So, still, players need to improve, especially their shooting. The needs for sure is screaming at us, and that is the shooting guard position for sure. No, excuse me, not shooting guard. Excuse me. The center position is what's really need to be approved on by the Lakers team when it comes down to it. So hopefully, we find a trade very soon in December once all players are available for trade, or maybe at the trade deadline, it could be a possibility. But we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see about that when it comes down to it. So overall, guys, I mean, my conclusion of tonight's loss is that our starting lineup is something special. I think they could really lit it up in the regular season and show what they're made of and score and dominate. And Anthony Davis, LeBron. I mean, there's not a lot of expectations out of those guys because we already know what they are, especially what they showed us in over the summer with Team USA. I mean, they obviously dominated in that particular game, and they play basketball. I mean, they play basketball over the summer, so that shows you that they're um, still ready to go to win. And it's not anything too surprising that we saw the great dominance out of Anthony Davis and LeBron James in this game out there tonight. And just overall, really, there's not a lot of doubt out of these guys that they're not going to show up. But Rui Hachimura, seeing him play the way that he is, I was very impressed with. And also from D'Angelo Russell. I mean, he's going to be very helpful for us in the regular season, but when it comes to postseason time, it's a big question mark when it comes down to that. But I don't know, maybe he will show up in the postseason. You never know. We just have to wait and see about that. A long ways to go for us to show some optimism for D'Angelo Russell in the postseason. You never know. Maybe he'll be traded by then, but you never know. We just have to wait and see about that. So, um, we just have to wait and see about that. So, other than that, guys, I mean, and then Austin Reeves. I mean, his expectation is for sure out there when it comes to the favoritism from JJ Redick. So even though he had a bad shooting night and bad field goal night, I think it's just preseason for him. So I think he will lit it up for sure once the regular season comes around. So and I think all of them really will do so. I mean, especially for a second unit, with Max Christie and Dalton Connect. I mean, I think those two guys I'm really keeping an eye on when it comes to their effort and their expectations for our second unit coming off the bench. So I think they will bring a lot to the table for us when it comes to shooting and scoring. When it comes down to that, uh, Gabe Vincent's kind of like a mixture with Jalen Hood-Schifino because of how great that he's been playing for us. When it comes down to it. So, especially just lately, I mean, you know, he could potentially take his job. You never know, but we just have to wait and see about that. So, other than that, guys, I'm really looking forward to the regular season. But obviously, we have a couple more preseasons to go for a lot of players to improve, and hopefully they do because that's where things really show when it comes. I mean, that's my hope that they improve on their game in preseason, so they'd be ready to go for the regular season. So we just have to wait and see, and hopefully they continue to improve on their skill set, and hopefully be ready to go for the regular season. I have no doubt in my mind that our starting lineup will be ready to go for the regular season. I mean, just the first half alone tells me that they can really show up and win us some games throughout the game in any matchup. So we just have to wait and see about that. So, guys, I really do appreciate all the love and support you guys have shown me all across social media and, of course, on this channel, ZSN on YouTube. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and, of course, follow me all across social media. Facebook, Instagram, X. I'm also on TikTok and Threads as well. The links will be in the description of this live stream, so you guys check me out on social media. And once again, if you guys are joining me at the moment, the reason I'm wearing a Broncos hat is because my Broncos just beat the Raiders, and it was such an exciting game, very joyful game, and I'm glad that they beat the Raiders. As a fan growing up, as a Broncos fan, I mean, I just always root for them every chance that I get. And when it comes to our rival in the Raiders, a win is a special one for sure. So go Broncos when it comes down to that. So obviously this is a Lakers channel as well. I'm a Lakers fan, diehard Laker fan. I bleed purple and gold. So this is a Lakers channel. So if you haven't yet, if you're a diehard Laker fan and you like to hear thoughts and opinions, rumors, updates, news, speculations, everything about the Lakers, this is the channel for you. So please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, follow me all across social media, Facebook, Instagram, X. I'm also on TikTok and Threads as well, once again. So, once again, guys, I want to thank every single one of you for joining me on this live stream. And for more post game shows, analysis of the Lakers, it's really important that you hit that notification bell and subscribe because I will be doing that. And it is returning to this channel after a long off season. So this is kind of similar situation of what I do in the regular season. So if you like my analysis and my thoughts about the Lakers and giving you guys a rundown of every single game that we see the Lakers, when they win, when they lose, I will be giving my analysis and my thoughts and my opinions about the Lakers win or when they lose. So if you love that or a diehard Laker fan, this is the channel for you. So please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in the next live stream and the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.